The tea is exceptionally good today. Who made this? Very delicious. Hold on.
What up, Cosmic Cousins? You already know it's time to grab our mugs, get all nice and settled in, and go on ahead and take it beyond the villa. That's right, Cosmic Cousins. We done got up off the island, but the island ain't got up off of us. So with that being said, today we're looking at the cast of Beyond the Villa 2, and we are checking with the stars to see what we can see when it comes to this new season that will be dropping on April 15th. And I am definitely ready to get into it, because we need to see what the stars are saying about Amaya's glow up, as well as why Brian's running all these damn marathons. But before I get too deep into the tea, you already know what to do. Go and hit that like. Go on and subscribe if you haven't to your girl already. What are you waiting for? And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of this cosmic tea that I want to sip with you. Now let's get into it, because there's a lot to talk about. Now, because the cast is so thick, we only doing the top 5 other planets. These are their big 5. These are their personal planets, okay? Didn't include risings because I didn't have them for all of them. Wasn't sure about most of them, okay? So we just gonna leave that alone. In addition, the couples of the show already had their videos up and have been up on my channel already, so they're not in this video, so you're gonna have to go check them out individually. Now, when it comes to TJ and Iris, I did go ahead and throw Pepe up in there and included him as a threesome. Just saying, it's going to be most of their focus for their storyline. Just saying. In addition, we also have the Taylor and Clark and my predictions for them on the show, and I'll make sure that I include the link for both videos down below in the description of this video. Now, with that being said, let's move straight into it, because there is a lot of cast members, okay? Starting with our girl Belle-A. Now, because of the fact that Belle-A's time was cut so short, the fans definitely wanted to see more from her, to the point I think somebody even put out a petition. Well, apparently the Love Island producers definitely heard the cries of the people, because Belle-A will be gracing our screen once again on Beyond the Villa. And I honestly feel like this second chance was needed, because Belle-A didn't really, give us the best that she got, okay? On Love Island, it came off as very performative, and I could easily see why. Belle-A is a Leo sun. She also has a Leo Mercury and a Leo Mars. Now, she has a Pisces moon based on my calculations, and she's a Virgo Venus. Now, because Leo loves to be the main character, I really believe that if she would have had enough time to be confident in her Leo light, we would have really got to see the authentic side of Bella, and not the side that's quoting social media and TikTok quotes. You know what I mean? That Leo Mercury has to learn how to talk with confidence. That Leo Sun has to be able to shine in confidence. And that Leo Mars has to learn how to go after things and drive with things with that same confidence. Now, that Pisces moon is that soft center. Now, y'all know I'm just basing her Pisces moon based off of my calculations. I can't confirm their time of birth to even confirm their rising sign. So based off of what I am able to see, we're just going to roll with this, okay? Now, with an intuitive moon like a Pisces moon, it can also be a bit of an escapist. But it definitely explains her good time Hawaiian vibe that she always gives off. Now, when it comes to Belle-A's Virgo Venus, this gives her a very picky filter when it comes to relationships. Now, despite all that fiery energy that Belle-A gives off, that Virgo Venus definitely gives her that analysis, that extreme high standards, those looking at those small details. Ew, I did not like that type of energy. This is kind of why she struggled in the house with any type of deep connections. Having such a short window of time to be able to make those type of decisions, she really didn't have enough time to kind of check things off on her checklist. On a normal day, individuals don't just walk in a house and start slobbing down everybody. And with the Virgo Venus, you damn sure ain't on no shit like that, okay? That's a level of trust in others that Virgos just don't have immediately, okay? The Virgo energy is not going to be on no shit like that. Just for the record. Now, based on the current transits, I feel like we're going to get a bombshell rebirth, okay? Now, there are some current transits right now, especially with the Sun and Mars currently being in Aries, that actually made a beautiful, harmonious fire trine within Bella's chart. And I really feel like this is setting the stage for glow up energy for her later on this year. And it's just going to give winning. And there's even some rumors of a British professional athlete that she is currently being linked to. That gives very much Aries energy, okay? But for Belle-A, this just makes sense. Having somebody or dating somebody who's already in the industry, who doesn't mind the spotlight when it comes to just being in public, and understanding the importance of being able to keep your private life private, which is exactly what Belle-A likes, is exactly what she needs. Now, the access of the Pisces and the Virgo helps explain to me that viral get ready with me. When Belle-A was talking and breaking down her struggles with mental health after leaving the show, honestly, the damn near the whole cast should probably be advocating for this at this point, because season 7 fans was crazy. Her discussing her creative therapy as well as journaling definitely helped rebuild that Leo confidence in positioning herself as a wellness advocate. And because of the fact that she has Virgo in her Venus, this is actually right up her alley. I honestly believe the Belle-A that we get on the show is going to be very much tuned into that. I also believe that Belle-A is starting her own curated coffee blend as well as a lifestyle brand, as well as she is currently the face of a major luxury swimwear line. So she's definitely going to get her chance to shine. Now, another islander that we're definitely going to see more of and was fighting for their chance to shine was old Charlie. We seen him walk out the door a little bit too early on season 7 after attempting to plead his case to stay in the villa to stay with Hannah, and then it pretty much turned around and happened again on Love Games. So at least on this show, Charlie will get a full season this year. Now, when it comes to Charlie, he is a Cancer sun. According to my calculations, he's an Aries moon, a Cancer Mercury, a Cancer Venus, and a Libra Mars. Now, all that water in Charlie's chart let me know that he ain't let go of a damn thing, okay? I mean, true indeed, he's not emotionally attached to it because he has that Aries moon, but that Mars still wants some justice, a little bit, just a little bit. He was definitely hurt how things went down between him and Hannah, and I feel like he wants to tell his side of the story. With that triple Cancer stellium, he is highly emotional, he is very nostalgic, and he loves the security and safety. Charlie's not going to just date you. He's going to bond with you, and when he speaks to you, he's coming from a very vulnerable place. This is a lot of the reason why he felt so robbed having to leave the show, especially after Hannah moved on so quickly after he left. And I mean, she moved on in a major way. We've seen a lot. But Hannah's actually a hard girl to hold on to, but we'll get into her placements in a minute. Now, because Charlie has that Aries moon, he does have that rebel heart. While his sun shines out this caring, nurturing side to him, that moon gives him that impulsive fire that you didn't know that he had in it. Now, with a Libra Mars, at the end of the day, Charlie is definitely a lover and not a fighter. Libra loves love, okay? So honestly, the environment of Love Island should have been really good for him, but I honestly believe it would have worked out better for Charlie if he was a main cast member instead of coming in being a bombshell of the show. Now, after the show, Charlie has definitely been getting his dating on, okay? He's definitely interested in settling down. He even had a brief run-in with Hannah and earlier this year. Now, that Libra and Mars is opening some doors for him. He's been working with some European menswear brands and kind of building this luxury aesthetic overall. He is also a big advocate for mental health when it comes to men, especially dealing with rejection, which we all know was really hard for him, especially being an Aries moon and all. I mean, one thing Aries loves to do is compete, and they do not like to lose. And like I told y'all, them Cancer places ain't forgot a damn thing, especially not no Cancer in Mercury. Now, I do have to say, during the time where Beyond the Villa will be premiering around the 15th of April, Aries will be in Mercury, and this is going to be squaring his Mercury. So we might get a little spicy confessionals from Charlie. I feel like he going to be calling some things out. He might be feeling like people is being a little fake in the house. Honestly, that Aries energy is just going to be in its most honest form. Keeping in mind that Aries is currently sitting in Saturn and Neptune right now. And we all know Pop Saturn ain't got no time for any of the shenanigans. It's all about that discipline and that order. Now, we did get a chance to see Charlie in the All-Stars, the Love Island All-Stars 2026 in the UK. Now, that edit definitely focused on his growth. Kind of pushed him into being a reformed romantic, though. Like, he's protecting his Cancer spirit a little bit more and allowing Saturn to put up those emotional boundaries for him. Now, Charlie is our Cancer king, but don't let that shit fool you. That Aries energy is very prominent, and it's definitely going to be showing his teeth. When Charlie took his ass back to London, he went there to rebuild. He grabbed a couple more tattoos, grew out that facial hair, and he did not come back to play. And we're definitely going to see more of that on that show. Now, as I said before, a big part of Charlie's storyline is going to be Hannah. So let's go ahead and get into her placements and go ahead and talk about it. Now, our girl Hannah is starting her chart off strong with the Leo Sun, a Virgo Moon, a Cancer in Mercury, a Gemini in Venus, and a Sagittarius Mars. Now, I'm sure that luminary energy pulled Charlie in, especially because they talk the same language, having matching Mercuries and all. But that Gemini in Venus can switch up real quick, and that Sagittarius Mars is going to do whatever the hell it wants to do when it wants to do it, okay? So you see how they got in that situation they did. So with that being said, the reports of them linking back up, people were saying they was just doing it for the gram. I mean, not only that, people was talking about their political views didn't align. I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. Either way, I believe the Pepe situation is going to be a topic of discussion between him and Hannah. Of course, they got to have that conversation. Now, with Hannah's placement, I do believe that she is going to be one of the most outspoken ones on the show. Now, the cosmos versus the timing of this show for Hannah is going to be a little tricky. I'm not even going to lie. With Jupiter reaching its critical degrees in Cancer, her and Charlie, as a matter of fact, have to be careful with their words to make sure that things aren't getting blown up out of proportion because of the fact that Jupiter does expand things. And because of the fact that this is sitting in their Mercury currently, their words can carry a tremendous amount of weight, especially if Hannah is letting her Sagittarius Mars get a hold of everything. Her Leo Sun and her Sagittarius Mars work together very well to make her very fiery. Now, in addition, Uranus will be transiting through her Venus for the next 7 years. So there's going to be a lot of dramatic ups and downs when it comes to her relationships, and I feel like we're going to have some surprises on the show. Now, this could already be centered around this new guy that everybody been talking about that she done came encountered with recently, and I feel like she kind of did a semi-hard launch for this person, but I believe this is somebody who is from her hometown, somebody who's just kind of low drama and kind of out the way. Now, in addition, I do believe that Hannah had experienced some type of car accident that was really scary for her. I mean, damn, accidents are just scary in general. And I want to say the timing of that was prior to them filming. So I'm sure that's going to be a big subject for her on the show. Not only that, that also just gives Uranus and Gemini energy just overall when it comes to certain things dealing with transportation. Now, Gemini is a Mercury ruled planet, which Mercury is very health focused. So I believe there will be some health focused around that as well. I honestly do believe that they are going to be focused a lot on mental health, and that energy is going to be stressed for them to be able to kind of tell the fans about how they feel about the behavior of a lot of the fan bases. Okay, so y'all can just kind of prepare yourselves for that, because I feel like a lot of the fans fail to realize that this does have an effect on these people. They are individuals, they are people, they are human beings at the end of the day, just like you and me. So we always have to keep that in mind. Either way, that Sagittarius energy of Hannah's definitely is pushing her forward. Now, another individual on the show that would probably be pushing a lot of different topics will be Chris. Now, I have to be honest, y'all. I don't think he's going back overseas to play no ball, okay? I feel like that just has to be said, so we need to let it go. But nevertheless, he is the athlete with that big heart at the end of the day. Now, Chris has heavy Aries placement, seeing as how he's an Aries Sun, Mercury, as well as an Aries Mars. Now, in addition, he does have to make sure that he balances that Aries Sun with that Libra Moon, which happens to be Aries' sister sign. And with a Pisces Venus, he definitely has to have energy that will protect his heart. Now, with that being said, Chris's energy always just gave decisive and fast and incredibly direct. Aries Mercury just doesn't have a filter, okay? And with his sun being in Aries as well, he doesn't mind that being shown out to the world. Now, of course, that has gotten him in a lot of trouble when it comes to a certain fan base. We're just going to leave it at that. Chris is definitely a man that says what he thinks and backs it up with physical action. Now, as I said before, that Libra Moon is definitely going to give him that balancing for that Aries warrior spirit that definitely landed him on the show. I told y'all before, Libras love. So honestly, Chris is just one big teddy bear, y'all, that might get a little prickly at times. Now, because of the fact of who he was dealing with in his time on the show, I feel like Love Games kind of tried to display him in a way that was a lot different from his time on Love Island. But of course, a certain fan base didn't want to let him forget, you know. But a Pisces Venus really is a softie when it comes to relationships. And it lets me know he doesn't just want a partnership, he wants a soulmate connection. I honestly believe when he first walked into Love Island, how he pursued Shelly, as well as how he pursued Huda, was definitely genuine to him. But once he experienced somewhat of what he considered to be a rejection, those Aries walls came up instantly, and we've been seeing them ever since. Well, I feel like with Saturn moving into those Aries placements, we're going to see a new side of Chris. One that's a little bit more disciplined, one that's a little bit more responsible about his word, and someone that's going to come off as very mature. So we're going to be looking at an identity upgrade when it comes to Chris on this Beyond the Villa edit, okay? This man is all about reclaiming his narrative, and he definitely doesn't want to be known as that basketball guy anymore, okay? I do believe that he will be viewed as more angelic. Not saying that he's an angel or anything. I'm just saying that he's not the bad guy. You feel me? And people are going to be a little bit more interested in getting to know him outside of all the other stuff. Currently, Chris has a Baskin Lather deal, as well as he's been working with platforms like Mental Training Room, which deals with mental performance coaching. He is also going to be a cast member that's going to be speaking heavily about mental health, as we know he went through the most when he got off that show because of the fact that he did not end up with you know who. That mental performance coaching is kind of something that helped with this, and so he's become a big advocate about it. Now, Chris is actually a lot more sensitive than it looks and that we give him credit for, so honestly not mad about the Cosmos edit that they're getting ready to give Chris, because I honestly did not appreciate what he went through in season 7 and the way they've been trying to play my boy Chris since then, okay? Now, another cast member who I feel like we didn't really get a fair shot to really get to know her was Coco Watson. Now, although I was surprised that she was added to the show, I'm honestly not mad about it because I feel like she didn't really get a fair shot. Now, I know there's a lot of fans because of what happened between her and Alandria feel like, you know, she don't really deserve one. It's almost like, get a girl some grace, okay? Dang, y'all be so harsh out there. And when it comes to Coco, she is a Sagittarius sun. She is a Capricorn moon with a Scorpio Mercury. Her Venus is in Capricorn and her Mars is in Libra. Now, with that being said, I honestly feel like Coco is going to be that fun part of the show. I honestly look forward to her being the one to tell some jokes, and I feel like she'll be able to show off a lot of that Sagittarius charisma. Now, with the Capricorn moon and Venus, she's definitely going to want to show the real Coco. That double cap energy definitely gives ambitious, traditional, and very serious, especially when it comes to love. And love for her is not easy. Being on a show like Love Island for a Capricorn Venus, where they actually need to take a little bit of time, does not always mesh well, okay? Anytime I see somebody with the Capricorn Venus, I honestly just start thinking about contracts and making sure that they're planning out their 5-year plan and putting things into concrete. So to be able to get on that level with somebody, it honestly takes time. Now, when it comes to a Scorpio Mercury, she is definitely a secret keeper, okay? Scorpio Mercuries ain't telling nobody nothing. You'll never know what's going on in their head, and they are definitely an observer. For a Scorpio and Mercury, knowledge is power, okay? And especially when it comes to people's secrets. Now, because Scorpio energy is so instinctive and so intuitive, she's honestly going to be the bullshit detector as well. Now, with the Mars in Libra, she's definitely going to be one of the ones to try and keep the peace. Even when she's upset and mad, she's still going to do what she can to try and keep her charm. Rather than be too aggressive, she's going to do what she can to stay posed and pretty. Now, since Love Island, Coco has definitely been very quiet about her romantic life. I already told you that Scorpio Mercury is not telling any of those secrets, and that Capricorn Venus is going to move incredibly slow. However, she did hint recently on a podcast about possibly dating somebody who is outside of the industry. Now, rumor has it he's a real estate developer or somebody who has a very good position in the corporate world, which agrees very well with her Venus, by the way. Coco is definitely not going to be that girly that's interested in dating the influencer. She needs a partner with a concrete legacy, okay? Now, because Venus deals with the things that we attract, Coco has definitely leaned into her Venus when it comes to her branding. And she's even teased a collaboration with this high-end home fragrance and candle brand. She's been incredibly vocal about her dreams in real estate and making those necessary investments and being that property queen of season 7. Now, in addition, I think we will be seeing a lot more of her moon, her emotions come out Coco has recently done interviews where she shared her silent battle about dealing with bone density and her dental issue. And some of y'all thought it was cute and funny to, make fun of her because of this. But this is what I'm saying. Y'all never know what people are going through. And you always have to keep this in mind that these are real people with real emotions, real hearts. And now because y'all want to be messy, now she got to tell us her business. Now, being a Capricorn moon, they sometimes have these type of problems because of the fact that Capricorn energy rules teeth and bones, and being in a position like the moon is not a favorable position for Capricorn energy. Okay, it's actually in an opposition position. Okay, so because of that, she's definitely turned that into power by using her platform to talk about the importance of mineral health and not ignoring your body's signals when it comes to these type of things. Now, with Taurus currently being in Venus and that energy actually agreeing with her Venus, she's going to be giving luxury. Coco's really going to be serving us looks. And I'm not mad about it either. Do your thing, sis. Now, when it comes to Coco, I was surprised that she was added to the show. But it was more of a surprise like, oh, okay. Now, the next one, it was more of a, really? I ain't even gonna hold you. Now, Graceland, you gonna have to show me something. Well, honestly, she don't. She ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. But I'm just saying. I was a little thrown off that she was added to the cast. But I don't know. Maybe she just adds on to that Pepe storyline that they're trying to build. Because I really feel like that's going to be a big focus. Y'all just wait on it, okay? Because outside of that, it's like, I don't know. Nobody really asked for that. But it's okay. It's okay, Graceland. You're here. We love you. We want to get to know you. Now, with that being said, Graceland is a Sagittarius sun. She's a Leo moon with the Scorpio Mercury, a Venus in Libra, and her Mars is in Aquarius. Now, when it comes to that double fire, this is typically somebody who is screaming for the spotlight, okay? Sagittarius sun and a Leo moon, stop playing. But with that Scorpio Mercury, she's going to be a wait and see type of person. I told you about these Scorpio Mercuries. They sit around with them secrets and for the perfect time to make that power play and do her big one. And I honestly think Graceland's going to do that. I feel like because of the fact that we were so thrown off, or maybe it was just me, by her being added to the cast, when she actually gets on there, she's going to surprise us. Now, of course, I'm hoping that it comes off as very authentic and very organic, as my girl Pressure likes to say. I just don't want anything to be looking very performative when it comes to her, but she's definitely going to be giving it all she got. Now, when it comes to her Venus in Libra, she definitely is a romantic at heart. This girl loves love, and she's very open to it, but she does have to fight for her fairness when it comes to her relationships a lot of the time, which is just a common trope when it comes to having your Venus in Libra, because it is at home. But this is exactly why being a Casa girl actually was not a good fit for her. She honestly felt like the whole situation was inherently unbalanced and tacky. Okay, that was definitely not the side of the field that she wanted to be on, but she wanted to be on the show, so she took what she could get. Now, when it comes to a Mars in Aquarius, that is very much a rebel spirit. So that's why I think she's going to kind of give us that when we see her on the show. She's going to spark those conversations because she don't give a damn about nobody's Villa rules. And she's surely not going to play follow the leader with none of them. Now, when it comes to Graceland outside of the show, she hasn't really done any type of high profile anything as far as I can tell. She has, however, been very vocal about her experience on the Villa and how the experience left a bad taste in her mouth. Now, with her Libra currently being squared Jupiter in Cancer right now, that sometimes can imply that she is being pursued by somebody who is wealthy or established behind the scenes. That Scorpio Mercury is definitely going to keep that on hush. Now, when it comes to the brand deals, Graceland's bread and butter has always been that Monster Energy girl. But since the show has ended with that Pluto and Mars transit, she has been pivoting a lot. You're going to be seeing her moving more into the high fashion editorial contracts, as well as she is another islander who is big on the wellness movement. Now, of course, with that Aquarius Mars, with that being so unconventional and tech forward, I'm sure it's going to have that type of sauce on it, okay? Now, she's definitely going to be fighting to get out of that lens of just being known for that situation with Pepe. Even though I feel like the editors is going to kind of still play into that, I'm just saying, why else would they have her on the show out of everybody else? Now, currently with all this Aries energy in the sky currently right now, it does form this grand fire trine in her natal chart with that Sag Sun, and that Leo Moon. So Graceland's definitely going to come off not so sweet. She's going to be coming off bold, incredibly fiery, definitely tired of being that nice girl, and she's going to show you better than she could tell you. I honestly believe that she is really going to pull into that Pluto and Aquarius energy that is sitting in her Mars and being extra assertive, okay? Now, when it comes to Jeremiah, he was definitely somebody who left too soon. Everybody was upset. He was another one everybody wrote a petition about. I can't lie, I was upset too. Him being voted off the show was pure haterism. In my opinion, it still is, okay? I still stand on that heel, and that is exactly where I will be. Now, our cute and lovable Jer Bear will be back on our screens, and this is something that I'm definitely excited to see. Now, if you haven't had a chance to attend any of his book club lives or working super hard to maintain his baddies chain when it comes to Nicolandria Nation, Jeremiah has definitely been out here in these streets, okay? But we really want a little bit more tea, especially when it comes to him and Andreina. Like, when I'm looking at their charts together, I really do wish that they would just go ahead and get together already if they are not together already. But they honestly make a really good couple. They really are tea. If y'all want me to do a synastry on their chart, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do one, okay? But I don't want to get too parasocial. These are real people with real emotions, and we have to stop acting like they're our very own Sims game, okay? Even though, if y'all can't tell, I love a good Sims game, okay? Nevertheless, Jeremiah really just gives what he is. Just grounded, intelligent, a lover boy at heart, and just real foundational, solid, and most importantly, loyal. Jeremiah has a Taurus Sun, a Gemini Moon, a Taurus Mercury, a Taurus Venus, and a Gemini Mars. And y'all see what I mean? This man is really just motivated by comfort, stability, and high quality things. I mean, he really just wants a soft life. Jeremiah just gives well manicured, well moisturized, and well maintained, okay? Out of all the men that got swirled up in that hood of hurricane, he endured the most verbal abuse. However, he walked away the most unscathed out of the situation. Thank goodness. Now, those hood of weirdos was chasing him down, and doing like all kinds of weird things after he left out of development. After things calmed down a while, he really had the support of his Jer Bears behind him to push him through into other things. And all of this has really just pushed him into a position of peace. Now, of course, that Gemini Moon needs a lot of stimulation. This is why he has his book club. He enjoys having topics where he can have those mental sparring matches, and he loves to have conversation. Now, Jeremiah definitely loves to have conversations because he is a Gemini Moon. However, because of the fact that he has Taurus in his Mercury, he may sometimes trip over his words if he tries to say things too quickly, or he may have moments where he's very slow to speak, but very much thinking quickly, okay? Now, there is some rumors that I believe he might be dating somebody, so that hope of him and Andreina getting together might just be my own fantasy, but it's known to be that she's a non-celebrity, she's an interior designer, which is very much on brand for his Venus, so I'm not mad at that either. One of his wants is somebody who can provide or give him a beautiful home. Jeremiah's content has never really been about kicking it at the club. I mean, you might find him at the club every now and then, but that's more or less when he's being more of a support system for his friend. Jeremiah really is a homebody. That's that Taurus placement sticking out. Definitely knows how to be social with those Gemini placements when he wants to be. But give him a cozy night, a good book, and that boy is good, honestly. Oh yeah, and maybe a couple snacks. Now, as far as his brand deals, he's really been taking his time, which, that Taurus Stellium will definitely give that energy. I believe he recently signed a deal with a high-end luggage and travel brand. For Jeremiah, it's really going to be quality over quantity. I honestly feel like more so he's going to be trying to pivot himself into more of a lifestyle type of brand rather than being a reality TV star type of brand, okay? Now, those Gemini placements, especially with these Uranus energy coming up, moving into both his moon and his Mars, definitely explains to me why he's been working a lot with the tech and communication apps that he's been dealing with, and the type of pivot that he's been making for his brand. And because of the fact that Taurus is currently in Uranus and it's in its critical degrees and it's moving over to Gemini, we will slowly start to see Jeremiah move from that spotlight position of that Taurus Sun as well as that Taurus Mercury And with that Venus and that lover boy energy that Taurus Venus will sometimes give, we're going to see this energy switch over in real time, almost on the show, showing where he's switching more into more of his brand deals and projects that are more Gemini coded, dealing with data, communications, technology, and of course his book club. Now, because of the fact that Gemini and Uranus does have a tendency to kind of bring things to light in a shocking way, there might be some secrets that get dropped that put Jeremiah in some, uncomfortable positions when it comes to his moon placements as well as his Mars. These type of actions may cause him to have to defend himself, and with Mercury currently being in Aries, this is going to square his energy. So yeah, it's going to be more of a negative type of thing where it's going to be like some he said, she said type of drama. Jeremiah just might get caught telling stories, okay? It could be all in an effort to keep the peace, but it could definitely be double-sided, okay? Now, honestly, this energy, I believe that we will stop seeing Jeremiah as that nice guy. I mean, he's still the Jer Bear and everything, but he's going to be working on taking more of a serious business, entrepreneurial type of side to him. And that's what we're going to see. Now, another thing that I think will be a big topic for Jeremiah on the show be his struggles with social anxiety. Coming out, having so much sudden fame, I'm sure is a lot for just anybody's neurological system, but especially someone with a Gemini moon, okay? And if you have a Gemini moon, then you know what I'm talking about. These are the individuals whose brain do not shut off. So having so much of that energy being doused at you at once is definitely a critical thing. So him advocating for digital detoxing will be something I believe he will speak about on the show. The thing is for sure, when it comes to Jeremiah, I'm sure we will see more of that stable Taurus energy. But I also feel like we're going to see a lot of that messy ass Gemini side too, okay? He's definitely going to give us some entertainment. Now, when it comes to Jeremiah's partner in crime, Andreina is definitely there for all of the shenanigans. Now, even though I am very much loving the fact that we got more time with her on the Love Island games to get a little bit more of her personality, it still really sucks that Johnny played with her and got her up out of there mid-season. So now we get an opportunity to get to know Andreina outside of any competition type of environment, because we know she's not the best at those. Now, when it comes to Andreina's placement, she is a Taurus sun, and she's a Capricorn moon. She's a Gemini Mercury, and she's an Aries Venus with a Sagittarius Mars. Now, when we first met our girl Andreina, she definitely was not just a bombshell. She came in as a dynamic explosion. And from the moment she looked dead into the camera and told America that she would take their man, with those looks and that confidence, girl, we believe you. Nevertheless, our girl really is just a business bombshell. She's never been here for the game. She really is here to find that grounded, passionate connection that's going to give her that overall stability that Earth and Sun need, as well as give her that fiery energy that her Mars and her Venus needs. Oh, and they also got to be able to stimulate her mind with that Mercury sitting in Gemini. So they better be able to hold a conversation with her, okay? Now, the Taurus energy definitely is grounded and sensual. I mean, let's not even beat around the bush. That girl is sensational to look at. Now, because of the fact that she does have a Capricorn moon, it does make it a lot harder for her to open up emotionally. This is something that has been a complaint when she was on the Love Games. If you got a chance to catch that, then you know that this was a subject. But it's only that Capricorn energy just needs that concrete evidence that you're going to be there for her emotionally before she can open up to you emotionally. Now, when it comes to Aries Venuses, they are hunters, which can sometimes throw that Venus off because Venus is all about attracting. But Venus energy in this area is not waiting to be chosen. It's basically doing the choosing. Loves the thrill of the chase, and she has to have a partner that can keep up with her. And this definitely goes for her Mars too. She's definitely spicy and can have a burn it all down type of mentality when she gets bored. She needs it to be feeling like an adventure, and if things aren't right or if they don't work out, she's not going to cry over spilled milk. She's going to keep it moving. Now, our girl has definitely been out here dating. It really is giving quality over quantity when it comes to that for her, which makes so much sense when it comes to her Capricorn moon, okay? She's not going to give us any of the details. She's going to play the long game, and she's looking for a partner who's going to match her energy and give her that power couple ambition. Now, when it comes to those brand deals, our girl Andreina has definitely been working. She's moving into global fashion brands and definitely utilizing a lot of that Love Island promotion to push her into a lot of the modeling experiences and contracts that she's been wanting to get. Now, there has been some talks that she might be looking to launch a bilingual lifestyle brand that actually focuses more on Spanish and Dominican heritage, which this would be leaning more into her Gemini Mercury ability to bridge different cultures. One thing's for sure, she has definitely not been shy about her physical discipline. You could definitely find her and Jer Bear in somebody's gym working out together, okay? She literally views her self-care and her fitness as part of her job description. Now, our girl did have a little minor scare when it came to her vocal cord strain. This is very much Mercury and Gemini coded, because we're talking voice when it comes to communication. And this was just from the constant podcasts and presses that she was doing. So she was really forced to kind of rest her voice and do a silent retreat earlier this year. Now, similar to her partner in crime, Jeremiah, her Taurus and Gemini placements will be taking the spotlight, as well as there'll be some focus on her Aries Venus. Now, because of the fact that Uranus is going to be moving out of Taurus, which is her sun sign, and moving more into her Mercury, we will be focusing more on Adriana's personality and her business side. We're going to be looking at her discipline overall when it comes to her relationships and when it comes to love. We're probably going to be focused or looking at some of the blockages that she might be seeing when it comes to relationships. Either way, it's going to be less about her looks, even though we're going to be seeing Adriana as very hot, okay? As if we didn't already. She's definitely going to be giving us that sex appeal in the show. But all in all, she's just focusing on her peak beauty, her peak discipline, and she's going to be having a golden era when it comes to brand deals and that glow up phase. Now, she might be very one caught up in with Jeremiah when it comes to all of that gossipy energy. So I can see her getting caught up in the mess a little bit. But all in all, Adriana should be getting a good edit, okay? Now, when it comes to castmate Brian, I don't know what his edit gonna look like. I'ma just be real. When it comes to the season 7 winners, Amaya and Bryan, from the moment I looked at their charts and from the moment I looked at their honest connection on the show, I wasn't confident. I'm gonna be real. I wasn't confident about it at all. It felt forced. It felt scrambled. It felt, let's get together, hurry up and do this so we can make it to the end. And whatever they decided to do, it worked, okay? Now, I had did their video on Will They Survive Outside the Villa series that I did for all my Love Island season 7 couples. Now, in that video, if y'all remember correctly, I told y'all then I didn't think that they was a couple. So I didn't even really do it as will they survive outside of the villa, because I didn't even think that they had survived outside of the villa at that point, okay? So I more so just did what is their potential type of energy. And I said that they had some potential, but I was a little nervous about Brian. Well, it turns out I was right, okay? But I don't think I had to be that smart or intelligent to be able to read that. If you look at his chart and you look at how he was moving, it's easily to see that Amaya's energy really just required a little bit too much out of him. And one thing Brian's energy cannot take is a lot of pressure. Let's start with it. He's a Capricorn sun. I already told y'all Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn needs time, okay? Then on top of that, he's a Sagittarius moon. Now, I'm not hating on Sagittarius moons because I love y'all, okay? But one thing that y'all require is emotional freedom. Y'all don't like really doing the contracts until you know for sure that this is what you want to do. And even with that, there still has to be a little bit of thrill of chase involved. You don't want it too easy. Now, when it comes to his Mercury, that's also in Capricorn. And his Venus is in Sagittarius and his Mars is in Libra. Now, with that being said, with everything that we knew was going to kind of happen, Brian kind of had to fade in the background. I mean, and as he should, he did walk away from the situation being the villain, whereas Amaya was more so the one in the relationship who was hurt. So that's definitely going to be a storyline. We're going to get the tea on that. Now, at the end of the day, Brian's really just that cool professional. He's a financial accountant with a Capricorn sun and Mercury. This makes him very focused, very career driven. And this man cares a lot about his reputation. He's going to be a man of few words, but when he speaks, he normally means business, and it's going to hold a lot of weight to it, and it's going to have a little bit of power behind that, okay? Now, that stability of that Capricorn energy is actually what Amaya liked about him. Out of all the selections that was left, he did feel like the safest option, and we was all kind of rooting for that. By the end of Love Island season 7, it was less about love and it was more about a popularity contest, which really got on my nerves. But nevertheless, while that Capricorn energy was looking nice and stable and foundational, that Sagittarius moon and Venus was that conflict, okay? That energy requires so much freedom, and it is spontaneous, it is adventurous, and what it wants to do more than anything is explore, okay? He does not like feeling caged in, okay? And Amaya's energy, we'll get into her placements in a minute, but if y'all caught my video, then y'all already know what the tea is. Her energy is very intense. It gives very much, you said that this is what we're going to do, so this is what we're going to do. Now, even though he very much enjoys the passion of it all, we seen that when they got into the hideaway where his toes was curled up and everything. The passion is one thing, but the intense aura of commitment really just kind of got under his skin. It was a lot for him. And this is why it is so important to understand other people's energy. That way you can stop faulting them for just being themselves, okay? If you understand why they move the way that they do, then the things that they do won't seem so surprising. Now, yes, you always want people to be a good person about it, but people are people at the end of the day, and we just have to learn how to give each other grace at the end of the day. Now, in addition, that Mars in Libra does not like confrontation. It enjoys peace and diplomacy, and it'd rather let you win sometime, just so it ain't got to go back and forth with you. Now, this incident between him and Amaya is definitely the reason why he faded into the background, because one thing that Mars in Libra does not like is to be judged, okay? They be the one doing the judging. They don't feel like, anybody should be judging them, okay? But this is definitely what he will do to try and excuse all of that away. And he even did that at the reunion a little bit, where he just said it was just a lapse in judgment, rather than it being a deep portrayal as a Scorpio, as Amaya would take it, Publicly, he really wants to keep the peace because that Capricorn energy within his Mercury really does care about what others think. He's looking at this like his professional reputation is on the line when it comes to this. And he is overly concerned about his public image. Now, of course, after everything went down between him and Amaya, he hasn't really been linked to anybody else. He's pretty much been keeping his head down and just pretty much been working. And as far as an influencer route, he hasn't taken the typical one either. You can catch Brian at a marathon. Now, recently, as of March, he was caught at a Threads Dear Media reality TV Greats dinner that was actually held in Los Angeles, showing that he is still making certain appearances just to kind of keep his ties in the industry. But honestly, it's a way for him to dip his foot out there to see how people is feeling about him. Now, because the moon in Sagittarius loves movement, okay? Positioning himself as a marathon runner as well as a fitness advocate has been the basis of his brand. Now, these things have opened the doors for him when it comes to athletic wear as well as wellness technology. It's focusing more on his image and his discipline professionally rather than him being a reality star, which is tied to Amaya and the scandal. So when it comes to Brian's social media, if you go there, you're going to see his workout hub, okay? And he's also a big advocate for using physical training as a form of mental clarity. Although he hasn't spoken out about having any type of mental health issues, I'm sure working out and using this method has came in handy for him once everything unfolded. Now, honestly, when it comes to Brian on this show, I really feel like he's just going to be dipping his toe back in. I feel like he's going to get like more of a shadow edit where he's going to be more in the background. There's not going to be a lot of focus on him, and he's not going to give them a lot of dirt. I honestly feel like he's just there to balance out the score and even things out with Amaya by giving her that closure in person as well as putting it out there on TV and giving her the grace of a public apology. But as far as him on the show, I don't really see anything in his chart suggesting that he would be one of the standout characters this season. And because of the edit that they are prepared to give him, it may come off a little socially awkward. So we'll just have to see how that plays out for Brian. But I honestly don't think he'll be a big focus this season. However, Amaya will. So let's go ahead and jump into her placements really quickly. Now, our girl Amaya is a Scorpio sun. She's a Sagittarius moon with the Scorpio Mercury, a Venus in Libra, as well as a Capricorn in Mars. Now, if we're all being honest, the reason why her and Brian won was because of her, okay? The world fell in love with Amaya, not because of just Amaya, though. Honestly, it's what Amaya represents. She is a true blue Venus in Libra, okay? Her struggle in finding love on that show was so reminiscent to a lot of individuals who just really just want to find that person that just appreciates and loves them for who they are, is upfront and honest with them, and excited about the experience of exploration. Now, when it comes to Amaya's sun and her Mercury being in Scorpio, she was definitely the detective of the show. She was definitely great at reading individuals, especially when she was reading the guys and how they was feeling about her. She knew exactly what they were saying out their mouth wasn't matching their energy. Honestly, nothing was going to get past Amaya. Now, because of the fact that she has a no-nonsense energy in that Scorpio energy when it comes to loyalty, she needs you to be honest with her, especially because she already read you down anyway. Now, that Sagittarius moon is what gave her that Amaya papaya energy that we honestly love. Her freedom, her humor, her natural bubbly personality really just balance out all of that intense Scorpio placements that she has in her chart. Her energy needs constant movement. And that's exactly why when she was on that island, she would just bust out and do some zoomies right then and there. Now, our girl definitely had a hard time finding love in that villa, okay? Nevertheless, she didn't have a hard time with America falling in love with her. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly why she won. Now, when it comes to the brand deals, our girl Amaya is definitely having them flowing in. But that Mars in Capricorn is definitely playing everything smart. It gives her that CEO placement where she's playing that long game and she is building her brand brick by brick. She's not jumping out there and she's not going to just take any type of thing. She's going to use that Mars energy to the max. And when I mean that because Capricorn is exalted in Mars, okay? Our girl is really taking serious this transition from being that cardiac nurse to being that major brand ambassador. And because she has that Scorpio and Mercury, she's thinking about power plays, okay? And it's going to be a secret. We're not going to know anything about it until after it's already written in stone and concrete and physical. Now, since the show, she has been dating, moving on from Brian. Now, when she was on Could Have Been Love, she said she was single, so I'm thinking that could be the case currently. But either way, she's more focused on these brands. With Amaya being the current face of Kiss Nails, all the way to doing work with Taco Bell, as well as it's been teased with potential collaborations with beauty houses such as Fenty, Amaya has definitely been setting the stage for all the things that she is looking to pursue. She's not taking that winning stage lightly. Now, she was forced to kind of take a break in December when the fans got a little terrified when Amaya was rushed to the hospital in Los Angeles, where she was forced to undergo an emergency abdominal surgery. Now, she did go on TikTok Live and clarify that this wasn't something that was a sudden injury, but more of a chronic illness flare-up type of situation. With constantly flying, filming, and working, it can create a burnout, which definitely took a toll on her immune system. Now, while she hasn't broken it down specifically to us, we really just want the best for Amaya Papaya and hope that she takes the time to slow down and make sure that everything that she's doing is focused on her health and giving her body that necessary downtime when it's needed. Now, although they weren't filming at the time when it happened, I do believe they were just on a break at the time it happened. So it still might be a subject, is something that they talk about on the show. Health in general is going to be a big subject for all of them on the show. I'm telling you. Now, because of the fact that majority of this show is going to be going down during Taurus season, this is actually the sister sign of Scorpio, which would be opposite her sun, as well as her Mercury. So I could definitely see where there might be some misunderstandings, as well as she may not be feeling the way that she is being edited. She's definitely not going to be looked at as that sweet winner that we've seen before. Amaya's energy before kind of gave harmless, but honestly, that was that Scorpio veil. I honestly feel like Amaya is going to show us another side of her that's a little bit darker. Not saying darker like sinister, but just darker as far as not nice. You know what I mean? Not saying that she gonna be a mean girl, because y'all love to use that word. Not saying that at all. It's more like a I'm not going to take no shit from nobody type of energy, if you know what I mean. Her energy is definitely going to come off as more assertive, But I honestly feel like this is going to be more business heavy, dealing with all of the trials and tribulations of trying to build her brand and just making sure people ain't playing with her in general. Now, this new moon on the 17th of April is going to be hitting her Mars, so expect to see an edit that's going to be focused around launching some type of new ventures for her. Like, we might go ahead and get the background tea of that recent Kiss Nails deal, and we're going to see her in more of a leadership position when it comes to how she manages her career and just not playing nice anymore. And honestly, I love that for Amaya, because I honestly feel like the version that we're going to see on Beyond the Villa is going to be more accurate to her true personality and standing in her grown woman. Now, Cosmic Cousins, y'all already know I done made this video incredibly long, so it's time for me to get up out of here. But if you made it this far in the video, I know you better hit that like. Now stop playing. Also, let me know what you think in the comments. What do you expect to see this season? What are you looking forward to seeing? And what transit sticks out to you the most for these castmates, okay? Now, with that being said, Cosmic Cousins, y'all already know I'm out of here.